No, I listen to it all the time. I tell all my friends to smack it raw.
Following podcast contains mature content. The views and opinions expressed by the host are not necessarily those of the host. Listener discretion is advised. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the number one wrestling podcast on Pornhub, the Smackin Raw podcast, where Vince has a ghost that may or may not be giving him a hand job later. I am your host, the patron said podcast, and the Warden Matt Ritter. Let that ghost know we can see her hand.
I think she's fully informed.
Okay. And I'm with my co-host this evening. Unfortunately, she's in the chat, but she won't be here. Miss Kitty Kinsey Bebe is on vacation, but the Pornhub Poppy, the Sultan of Spitter Swallow, Daddy Delgado, my friend Vince. I'm not calling you the name that they came up with on Get Your Podcast. That's not canon here. Vince, how you doing?
Daddy's home. I'm back 2 weeks in a row. This is the most consistency you've seen from me in
2023
since the calendar years of 2023. But yeah, I'm here. I'm excited. I watched a lot of wrestling this week. Wrestling's fun again, and there was a lot of news and spicy tea in the wrestling community. So I'm excited. Can't wait.
It was, and as Will said, the intro is fire. And if you got a podcast and you're looking for someone to help you out with some intro music, go check out at Heel Tactics _ on Twitter. Justin, Jaylan, Outlandish, all the names he goes by. Fucking fantastic. He's even got some tweets out right now. If you guys go follow him, the podcast intro guy, of a little bit of all the songs that he's made for us and all of our friends. And he's got a part 2 coming that'll feature Getting Off, stuff from Botch Spots and Chair Shots and other places. So yeah, you guys should definitely go check out at Heel Tactics if you either need some or want to update your entrance for the podcast. I've also got Allison in the chat who's working on an entrance video for Getting Off for me, and depending on how that goes, maybe we'll have her make a new one for Smackin Raw too. Something all interactive and cool with, whips and chains and handcuffs.
Oh, sounds erotic, and I love it.
Yeah, I figured you would.
Yeah.
How you been, Vince?
I've been good. I mean, I feel like I haven't seen much of you this week, so I'm glad to have this one-on-one interaction tonight. Yes, Kitty.
I know it's going to be fire because the stuff that you did for Botch Spots and Chair Shots was fire, and the stuff that you did for the new show dropping soon was fire. So I'm sure.
For sure.
Let's get into a little bit of news and rumors. You said you have injury stuff, so why don't you go ahead with the injuries first?
Okay.
Let's get the sad stuff out of the way.
I mean, I was gonna put some Ronda Rousey stuff, but obviously she is cleared. Because she was out here bitching on her Instagram saying that she wasn't cleared, but apparently she's good to go. She's just getting it added to matches at WrestleMania. But we're gonna start with
still a week and a half away. She might not be cleared yet. She did not get into any physical altercation tonight.
That's true. So the big one that was kind of like a shock to me, Alexa Bliss underwent a skin cancer procedure to remove a apparel cell carcinoma. Yes,
there you go. Look at you. I am really surprised you had that one.
I've been watching House, okay. So some medical terms have been stuck up here. So yeah, so that sucks to hear. I had no idea she even was going through all that. It makes sense why she took the leave of absence. Thankfully, everything went okay. But yeah, it's a little gloomy news, but thankfully it had results.
It does happen. I know my mother-in-law's had some removed. Sometimes it comes with age. Sometimes it comes with they all live out in Florida and they're out in the sun all the time and tanning and shit like that. It'll do that.
Yeah.
Apparently the walking weapon.
Yes. With TNA, tough blow for Impact Wrestling tonight. Mickey James, I think it was revealed to be a rib injury, and Josh Alexander, torn tricep. Josh Alexander, he's relinquishing his title. He won't be able to defend it, and they're going to be having match between Kushida and Steve something or whatever. Steve Cutler. He used to be Steve Cutler in WWE.
Macklin.
That guy.
Steve Macklin. Look at
Deanna
me knowing my
Peraza's
shit.
boyfriend.
Yeah.
Deanna Peraza's boyfriend.
Mr.
So,
Perazzo.
yeah, Mr. Perazzo and Kushida are going to be fighting each other for the Impact World title, which sucks to see because Josh Alexander had the longest reigning Impact World title reign in history, and it would have been very significant for him to drop that title and put someone over and make someone in Impact Wrestling. Then also Mickie James, she was supposed to have her match with Jordan Grace, and then now that's no longer the case. They're going to have like a qualifying match to determine who is going to face Jordan Grace now. And then later on, if Mickie is able to be cleared enough, it'll be a triple threat match going forward at Rebellion. Both of these title matches are taking place at Rebellion.
Allow me to get on my Will, that was not real. And if it was real, it was a joke. He just sent me the thing about Punk saying that he and HBK on Instagram.
Oh, that's not real.
Yeah.
I went to go check it.
But I did see it. No, let me get on my Tony Schiavone here real quick. Kushida versus Steve Macklin for the Impact World title. That'll put butts in seats.
I mean, I like Kushida. He's a time splitter.
That'll put butts in seats.
I'll probably watch just for Kushida.
Andy Kaufman.
Hall of Fame.
Are you familiar with Andy Kaufman and his work?
No, just mostly whatever he's done with Jerry Lawler.
Well, that would be his work that he's getting inducted for. So that would be the stuff we're talking about, Vince.
Oh, okay, perfect. Then I'm fully aware.
Okay. Did you see the movie that Jim Carrey did where he played Andy Kaufman?
I didn't, but Benji made a reference to it on this week's episode of Get Show.
Have you ever seen any fucking movies, bro? Like,
I'm starting to feel like I haven't.
I'm really starting to think you haven't either.
I watched select movies. I never really went out of my way to go to movie theaters growing up because my parents just wouldn't take us or anything, or we just wouldn't really go. I think it'd be easier to make a list of the movies I have seen as opposed to the movies I haven't seen.
Yeah, because it'd be like 5 movies long.
Yes, Katie.
They're all
I know.
Marvel movies.
Yeah, we always give Katie. Well, give Katie.
I give Katie shit because compared to me, Katie also has never seen shit. But you make Katie look like she's seen like a fucking film snob who's seen everything. Jesus Christ.
We'll see. We'll make a list of films that I need to watch before the end of the year.
But I saw some people being like, "Oh, why? Who's Andy Kaufman?" Why? So here, ladies and gentlemen, as Will said, one of the first ever worked shoot stories in wrestling history with Jerry the King Lawler. Andy Kaufman was wrestling female wrestlers, beating them, did the whole thing with Jerry the King Lawler. And also, on top of all of that and the fact that it spawned a movie that I talked about and all of this stuff, on top of all of that, we also have a celebrity wing in the Hall of Fame that have celebrities in it who have never wrestled a match and still got inducted. We have former presidents who probably shouldn't be in either of those things I just mentioned. But are there nonetheless? And so why not Andy Kaufman?
Sure, why not? My only gripe right now is that we're like a week away from WrestleMania. We only have 3 inductions, and one of them is Andy Kaufman.
They might be going to smaller induction ceremonies. I feel like the last couple of years, ever since the pandemic, the induction ceremonies have had less and less people. I don't feel like we had a very big class last year either.
Last year felt like it was the shortest or smallest class that we've had in years. But 3 people to this date, to date, like unless they announce like 2 or 3 people, like next week or something.
Yeah, we'll see. Also, Rhea Ripley incited internet incel fans' ire by saying that she is not going to sign anything for fans that is not a picture of her and them anymore because you sick, sweaty fucks think it's okay to bombard wrestlers. And I saw people defending this saying, oh, it's part of the job. It's part of the job. It's not part of the job. You going out of your way to make people uncomfortable and do fucked up shit as a fan, and these people aren't even like real fans who were there because they love Rhea Ripley. They're people who have fucking signboards with fucking 30 of the same pop toy that they want them to sign so that they can go sell them and make money off their name. They're not really fans. And they followed her out to her Uber. They made her get fucking lost. She couldn't find her Uber. She got trapped by these fans who were upset with her because she wouldn't sign all of the shit that they wanted them to. You are not entitled to shit from these wrestlers. Just because they are on TV for your entertainment does not mean they owe you anything. Everything that you get from them on a weekly basis on TV is all that you are entitled to get from them, what they want to give you. You are not entitled to their time. You are not entitled to conversations with them. You are not entitled to their signatures for free at the airport when you invade their personal, space.
Yeah. I mean, they grilled Rey Mysterio, what was it, like a month or two ago? Mm-hmm. Yeah, like a month ago, when he was saying, I'm only going to sign one thing per person, and everyone got butthurt because of it. But it's like, I went on a little bit of a rant, and I'm not going to read through it because he kind of like illustrated everything that I wanted to like cover, and I did cover on Getcho. But it's just like it's just embarrassing, and it makes you almost ashamed to call yourself a wrestling fan because all these sweaty marks on the online and just stalkers at this point, to be honest with you, they're fucking stalkers because they're over there waiting at the hotels, waiting by their Ubers, waiting at the airports for these wrestlers. It's embarrassing. It's just embarrassing. People forget that they're all real people with lives and don't owe us anything. Allison says,
and Jesus says, I would have drawn dicks on all their pops, and I agree, that would have been fantastic. No, it's just ridiculous. And then you got Chris Jericho out here, who I honestly personally believe it was in gimmick doing this, that like he was, oh, congratulations, Travis. I'm nowhere near that. Like, I feel like he was in gimmick trying to be like not necessarily a sweaty, but just like taking credit for something he knows, like playing into the perception of himself. Mm-hmm. Because I know he is full aware that he is not one of the first songs that fans sang along to in the entirety of wrestling. Or I just feel like as a heel and as a character, he was trying to take credit for something that he knew damn well.
Wait, he did this on Dynamite?
No, he didn't do this on Dynamite. He did this in an interview where he said that Judas is like one of the very first songs that all the fans sang along to. And now because of that, like Cody's theme and everyone else's theme, they all want to do it and sing along to it too, as if this hasn't been a thing. Yeah, see, Travis says the honor goes to Fandango. There was Fandango, Shinsuke Nakamura down in NXT. Like, even prior to that, like the New Age Outlaws, D-Generation X, Triple H, like so many people with banger themes that people sang along to when they came out. Like,
100%.
I'm sure even fucking Hulk Hogan, like.
I would hope it's in character, but the way that Jericho has almost deteriorated into like this like gimmicky person that he is, I don't know. Like, I feel like it's him trying to get some heat on him because everyone's just popping for Cody Rhodes' theme song right now, and either he's jealous or he wants to just bring some attention or like capitalize on that and just bring it towards him. He's trying to get it on his side of things.
Who the fuck is Matt Tremont?
Some other Matt that you don't know.
Yeah, see, Travis sang along to Voodoo Child. Hit the air guitar and everything. He's kind of. What's up, Bill? Become everything he complained about Hulk Hogan being in WCW, in my opinion.
Yeah,
when he was there,
100%. Ironic to see that. But speaking of Jericho, I don't know if you were going to talk about this, but do you want to address the CM Punk like just spilling tea on his Instagram story and just like going to work and taking shots at Tony, Mox, Jericho?
So here's what I'm going to say on this, because I've seen it and I've seen people say, oh, CM Punk's whining again, CM Punk's crying again, CM Punk this, CM Punk that. Listen, from what I've noticed, from what I've seen, CM Punk only lashes out after he has been pushed to the point to where he needs to say something. It's not like this shit happens and he comes out and just starts shitting all over a company. How long did he wait to do the interview with Colt Cabana and talk about everything that happened after he was, fired on his wedding day from WWE? It was not a week. It was not 2 weeks. It was not immediately after.
Mm-hmm.
He's waited this long to address the situation with the Bucks and everything that Jericho's been saying and everything that everyone has been saying about him. He's waited this long to address it because nobody will shut the fuck up about it and leave him alone about it. And is he cleared and this and that? And they keep asking him and pushing him about it. Same thing with the whole all-out brawl-out thing. When all of that shit happened, they were giving him shit for a while leading up to that, and he finally just got fed up and snapped. And that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, no, it's the simple fact that he didn't have to do that. He did it because he was frustrated himself. And look, was Punk? I'm not gonna sit here and like being a Punk apologist and say that he was correct. He was at fault. He wasn't at wrong here. He wasn't at fault. He could have handled some things better, specifically the media scrum in particular. But everyone's doing a smear campaign against Punk right now, and they're trying to paint him out to be like this bad guy. It's like, just because you don't like the guy doesn't mean he's a bad guy. Like, I rub a lot of people the wrong way, but I don't think that makes me a bad guy. But once I get pushed to the brinks, I'm gonna lash out. Sometimes that happens. He deleted it. I'm 100% believe that either he accidentally did that, thinking he was sending it to someone and accidentally put on his story, or B, he put on his story and then AJ Lee told him, like, take that down. And he just snapped out of it. One of the two. But I'm glad he did it because, like, he hasn't been able to, like, really voice his opinions. It's everybody else been talking about him. So why can't he talk?
I agree. Are you saying that you think it's BS on their part for trying to get him to wrestle before he was cleared? Or you think that it's him saying it is BS and it's not true? Allison. I'm asking Allison. Yeah.
I think it's BS that they tried to get him to wrestle before he was cleared. Yes, and here's the thing. That's a lot of people that's a lot of the stuff that people were complaining about WWE management with Punk when he first left, making all the jokes with the Z packs and whatnot. But it's like they wanted him to job out to Mox and stuff, and he wasn't cleared. I don't know. It's not the cleanest situation. It's very murky and messy. But if you make me choose between Tony Khan and Punk, Punk or Jericho, Punk or Mox, or Punk and the Elite, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to side with Punk in every single one of the situations.
I agree with you on everything but Mox. First off, I'm pretty sure Mox did lose to Punk, and that whole part of the conversation in that confused me. And Mox has never seemed like a guy who would be like, I'm not going to lose to anyone. And I was under the impression that they had a very good relationship because when Punk said he came up with the idea of the Shield, it was supposed to be Rollins, Ambrose, and Chris Hero.
Yeah,
and then they took Chris Hero out. So that part, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the relationship, where they're at, blah, blah, blah. But everyone else, I agree. I'm 9 times out of 10 going to side with Punk over.
Are you going to side with Punk on the fact that he claimed that he's never watched Rocky?
I mean, I'm not. If he claims he's never watched Rocky, then the guy's never watched Rocky. Like, what am I not going to side with him on? Like, do I think it's terrible that he's never watched Rocky? Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
But I'm also an Italian American, so like, yes, we've watched Rocky. I've watched every single Rocky. I've watched every single Creed. Like,
okay. Small AEW news. I don't know if this matters or not, but they're considering moving All Out from the Now Arena, aka the Sears Center, to the United Center when it rolls around in the summer.
As long as they keep it in Chicago, because I know a lot of people have been like, oh, why does All Out have to be? Because that's what they just said they were going to do, and that's what it needs to be. That's why, because we're better than all of your other cities. That's 100%. Why.
He tweeted out 13 years ago he's never watched Rocky. Huh. How about that? Look at Jesus coming out with the receipts. I love it. You got anything else for news?
Yeah, Goldberg is now a free agent. So he's on the market, Katie, if you're interested.
I want him on Impact simply because I want to see Moose versus Goldberg. Only because TC threw it out there, and now I want to see it.
Fair enough. Also, Naomi is no longer confirmed on Instagram. She's no longer with WWE.
Good. Happy
Through
for
a
her.
comment.
She also filed trademark for Trinity Star to be used in like wrestling, just like in wrestling, like professional wrestling, or just like anything pro wrestling related. So yeah, happy for Naomi.
We might see her in Stardom over with Sasha. We could see her on AEW. We could see her on Impact.
I don't want to see her in AEW. I'd love to see her on Impact.
See, I wouldn't see her if she was on Impact because I'm not going to watch Impact. So
yeah, but you'd see the gifts or whatever.
Yeah, it is.
They'd probably just stick her in ROH. They throw everyone in ROH that they're not using.
Yeah. You don't watch that either.
I watch ROH more than I watch AEW. I'll tell you that much.
All right, let's get into the show, Vince. You ready?
Give me a sec. Okay, yeah, I'm ready.
Vince Delgado, spit or swallow?
All right, my first swallow. I'm gonna swallow El Hijo de Vikingo versus Kenny Omega. What a great guy Vikingo is to go and put over a young talent like Kenneth on AEW's main event. Fantastic match. But first time I've actually got a chance to like sit down and watch a full match of Vikingo and not just like highlights. Love the guy. He literally just screams WWE creative wrestler with all the cool moves he does. And I don't know. I just like Kenny was a fair compliment, and the match was fantastic. It was really, really good. It was one of the only things I watched on Dynamite, for research purposes only. Got to support my fellow Latinos when they actually are put on television. And yeah, I mean, aside from like the post match stuff with Don Callis, like it was all pretty good.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. And I even said the same thing. So we opened up Dynamite with the Bucks getting taken out on an ambulance and Hangman jumping in with them and Don Callis stopping him, saying, "Oh, you got a match. You got to focus on your match." Blah blah blah. Then we get the match, Kenny versus Vikingo. It was fantastic. I'm not gonna bullshit just because I'm not a Kenny fan. It was a really good match.
No, it was a good match.
Afterwards, we had the BCC come out and fuck up the Dark Order, and Kenny after his match. Hangman saves Kenny with a 2x4 with nails sticking out because he's better than Kenny as a human being.
Yeah,
and then
100%.
we take a giant shit on this whole thing by having Don Callis like try and grab Hangman's arm and take a bump and act like Hangman shoved him down so that Kenny can, continue to be mad at Hangman. And like, I felt like everything was going so well that if we had just skipped the Don Callis part, like we didn't need it, and just kind of left like, uncertain as to whether Kenny was gonna whatever. I think we would have been better off for it. I think the Don Callis bump shit was stupid and kind of just took a giant steaming shit all over that ending.
It kind of went out like a wet fart because you just don't need it. Like you were saying, it's kind of like when you have a project, like artistic project or a project at work, and it's done, but you keep nitpicking at it until the point where it's just like you're doing too much to it now. Allison's over here saying she's spitting the fact that the dude was reckless in the ring and is lucky to not seriously injured after hitting his neck on the apron. Correct, Allison. Kenneth should be more careful and less reckless in the ring.
And Katie spits everything Callis.
Agreed with the chat. I'm agreeing with the chat.
I'll ride this AEW wave. We can kick it off with some AEW. I'm going to swallow the ass boys forcing FTR to quit AEW if they lose a match. I'm just hoping that if they quit AEW, they don't go to Ring of Honor.
That's where they're going, man.
I really hope that's not the case. I actually want the ass boys to win. I want FTR to get the fuck out of AEW. Like, I'm not going to lie to you.
Aren't they contracts actually up, or is there still a lot of murkiness with that?
I think their contracts are coming up, which is why they're doing this whole angle, because it's very, it's gonna. Are they leave? They're probably staying. If they do lose, they probably will go to ROH if they don't win. But with their contracts and all that, and the hints of like the WWE contract and blah blah blah, like I think they're playing into all that. And I think it's smart to do it. And the Ass Boys being like, there is nothing that you can give us that we would give you a match for. There is absolutely nothing. And they're like, all right, we'll never wrestle as a tag team again. We don't care if you wrestle as a tag team again. Fine, we'll quit AEW. Okay, we'll take it. You leave AEW for good, and we'll give you a tag team title shot.
I'll say this: if what Allison is saying is correct, their contract is up on April 4th, which is what 2 weeks, 2 weeks from now.
It's 2 days after WrestleMania, night
2 days after WrestleMania. Oh,
night 2.
There you go.
So
So
NXT, they could show up on NXT theoretically.
SmackDown, make them show up on SmackDown.
Well, I'm just saying, like if they wanted to, if their contracts were up, they could show up on NXT.
If they
April
don't
4th.
resign their contracts, if they don't renew their deals, then yeah, they're gonna lose, and they're probably gonna end up back in WWE because unfortunately, FTR was one of those teams that when they left WWE, they just went full pedal to the metal and did everything they could possibly do. Every single dream match, won every single tag title they can win from almost every single promotion. So much so to the point now where you're just like, well, where else can they go? They've pretty much done everything except go back to WWE and try to like make that whole thing work now that Triple H is in charge.
Yeah, because they had a real bad deal with Vince in charge. Like they were shaving backs and shit. Like they did not have a good run under Vince.
I mean, you should always shave your back if it gets out of control.
Would you shave my back?
I would.
Oh,
I 100% would. Would you shave mine?
Sure, why not?
Okay, there you go. Perfect. You shave my back, I shave yours.
Come on over tomorrow.
I'm free in the morning.
Okay.
All right. You're talking about asses, Matt. I'm gonna follow that train into AEW, and I'm gonna swallow Sky Blue.
Whoa. Vince better swallow.
Okay. You're talking about asses there, man, and I'm gonna follow that train, and I'm gonna go with my next swallow in Sky Blue versus Tony Storm. I feel like the wrong winner was there in Tony Storm. I'm always going to support Sky Blue, fellow Chicagoan, like one of those like Chicago indie wrestlers, like making the scene for themselves and making a name for themselves. So I'm always going to root for them. This was great. This was the Battle of the Booties, the Clash of the Cakes. It was everything. It was on Hump Day, no less. So what more could I possibly ask? So yeah, swallowing that.
Clash of the Cakes would make a great title for this episode.
I'm glad you like that. Clash of the
no,
Cakes.
I am also swallowing that. I really enjoy Sky Blue. I know this is going to be an unpopular opinion. I know it is. I had it about Hangman too. I personally think that Sky Blue would be thriving in NXT right now with their women's division and the running with the likes of Cora Jade, Roxanne Perez, Gigi Dolan, all of that. I think that for the way the women are treated in NXT, Sky Blue would be far better off there. And it's just a bias of mine because AEW. But you know what? I can't complain too much because she is in this feud with like the only thing that's going on in the women's division right now.
Yeah.
So
and they're only able to like manage one solid storyline for the women's division at a time. So the fact that
one
she's
match
a part
a night or one match a show,
one match a night,
roughly
one
the
match
same
a show.
time.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm with you actually because Sky Blue, she would be having a similar run to like a Roxanne Perez.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like she'd be doing better than Indy Hartwell or even Cora Jade. And if she does, she's also signed with Warrior Wrestling. Yes, she is signed with Warrior Wrestling, which if I go to the next show, maybe I'll do a meet and greet. And if she were to go to WWE and go with NXT, I do want to see them recreate the Spider-Man meme with her pointing at Cora Jade and Cora Jade pointing back at Sky Blue, since you've always made a reference that they're basically the same person.
Well, no, what I said was Sky Blue or Cora Jade is not as thick Sky Blue.
But before that,
yes,
Sky Blue was
a thicker Cora Jade.
But they've always been like similar. So it's like the multiverse opening up. And I agree with you. Like you made that whole point about Hangman Page being better off in NXT, especially when it was black and gold. I agree with you. Hangman and Sky Blue would be thriving right now.
It's hard to look at his run in AEW being champion and everything that he's done and not say that. I'm not saying that they did Hangman dirty. I view WWE as a bigger stage and a bigger product.
100%.
And at the time that I was saying it, I thought they had bigger stars and I could see Hangman really thriving in that environment and on a WWE main roster. And I wasn't sure at that point where AEW was going to go. And I still can very much argue that AEW is not on WWE's level when it comes to attendance, when it comes to
presentation,
viewership, or anything like that. Like, they are a different product, but there is no pay-per-view that AEW is going to put on that is going to have the mass appeal or the big-time star power that a WrestleMania has.
Let me ask you this:
at this point, at 4 years in.
Yeah, 4 years in, their biggest show of the year is what? Either Double or Nothing or All Out,
All Out.
right?
No, it's All Out.
Okay.
Fuck Double or Nothing.
Okay. All Out. You compare All Out to, like, forget even WrestleMania or like the Royal Rumble. You compare it to SummerSlam, it still like doesn't even have the mass appeal of a SummerSlam or even the Survivor Series or even Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank is one of the bigger shows of the year, and it's not as stacked as All Out shows are. So it's the stage. It's the stage.
Yep. I am going to swallow Stokely Hathaway on AEW Dynamite. He had a match with Hook.
Okay.
He came out, said he had a doctor's note. He was not cleared to wrestle tonight. And coincidentally, he's also planning on retiring from in-ring competition after tonight. Then he handed over his doctor's note, and it was written on a Wingstop receipt, which apparently the referee did not take as a legal form of a doctor's note, which, to be fair, I will say in Stokely's defense, any doctor's signature, regardless of what it is on, if it is a legit doctor's signature, should be taken seriously. Maybe the doctor, maybe he was out of a pad of paper and all he had was a Wingstop receipt. So he, that was very unfair.
You know, I was just watching an episode of House where like one of the doctors there ran out of a pen and pad. So they just had a receipt, a piece of paper. They just grabbed a little piece of paper and wrote down the prescription. It happens.
Exactly. But then we had a no DQ match between Hook and Stokely. That was actually really fun. So I'm swallowing that whole thing.
Okay. All right. I see they're still doing stuff with Hook.
He still exists. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's still FTW champ.
Wait, I do have a question, and not to pivot back too much. Are the BCC heels now because they're attacking everyone?
I think that's where we're going, and I think we've been going that way for a little while now. They've been showing more of heel side, and I think last night with the way everything went down, really kind of solidified that. And I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, but how can they be heels when they're so over and everyone likes them?" It's like,
okay, so
you do heel shit, you're a heel. Like, it doesn't matter if people like you or not. And we've been through the era of the cool heel.
Yeah,
it is.
MJF tossed a fucking cocktail at a fucking child, and people still cheer the man.
Yeah,
so it's perfectly fine. Okay, I was just a little confused because I was watching the closing segment with Dynamite and everything with the BCC. I was like, are they heels now? Have I been that off since my boycott?
It's slowly been happening since Mox has been feuding with Hangman, and I think we've just kind of come full circle, especially with Brian not really being around. Or
that was my follow-up question. Was where does that leave Brian? Does he turn heel too? Does he just break away from the BCC?
Brian has always kind of been on the outs of the BCC. Like, it was supposed to be Brian and Mox, and it always kind of felt like two separate factions. Like, there was Brian's part and Mox's part, which is why I really wanted Daniel Garcia to join.
Yeah, it would make
Brian
sense.
And let Wheeler Yuta be over there with, but Mox was bringing in everybody. Brian really wasn't associating with them. He's just kind of been doing his own thing outside of his relationship with William Regal. So now that Regal's gone.
So he's like Batman in Justice League. He's like kind of part of the Justice League, but he does his own thing.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Great conversation topics there.
Clash of the Cakes.
Clash of the Cakes.
Vince, spit or swallow.
All right. I'm going to pivot over to NXT, and I'm gargling this because I'm not sure how to feel, because I'm happy with half of what they did here, and I'm completely dislike of what they did with the other half. So the North American title match participants, the first one turned out to be Dragon Lee. Wesley did this whole spiel on the mic or whatever, how he needed to prove himself, yada yada. Dragon Lee comes out. They do the whole jerking each other off because, I really like you as a wrestler and I've always wanted to wrestle you. Let's fucking do this. You're in. Then JD McDumdum shows up, and then Ilya Dragunov shows up, and then they're gonna have their match, and then like they have a little brawl afterwards, and then Wes like, well, JD's always bugging me, so I'm just gonna include him, and you know, if I'm including JD, then I'll just throw in Ilya in there, and it's just have them do their own thing away from the North American title. Just put someone else in there. Like, I'm gonna probably catch flack saying this, but I really don't care for Ilya Dragunov. I know he's a great wrestler. I like his matches, but as a character, I just don't care enough for him to like want him to be in there. Maybe I just don't get it. Maybe
I was gonna say the same thing about Wes Lee. I could give 2 fucks about Wes Lee and his fucking North American title run. He has done jack shit for me as North American champion.
And you know what?
The only part of this match I'm interested in is Dragon Lee, because I'm curious to see who he is and what he can do. You know, little brother of
Rush,
Big Time Rush, and the other one,
Drelistico.
Yeah, Dramatic, and Big Time Rush's little brother.
There you
all
go.
for it. And then Ilya Dragunov. Those are the only 2 I give a fuck about. I could give 2 jack shits about JD McDumdum, McDumbass, all the things we've called him.
Yeah, no.
Wes Lee does jack shit for me as champion. His open challenges suck. He's turning that title into the 24/7 title.
He is. Okay, look. You know where I stand with Wes Lee. You know where I stand with any of.
I ride with the Rascals.
I ride with the Rascals.
Yeah.
But okay, but I can't sit here and pretend like his title reign hasn't been lackluster. Like him as a babyface champion hasn't been doing it for me. He might need to pull a Carmelo Hayes and turn heel. Maybe even drop the title and then be a little bit more angry, be pissed off, and then chase it again.
Drop WWE and go back to Impact where you mattered.
Well, if he does that, I'd be able to meet him again, so I'm okay with that. But yeah, I'm swallowing Dragon Lee being included. I'm spitting Ilya and JD McDunham. And then I'm swallow the Battle Royal aspect of it because I like a good Battle Royal. I'm a sucker for a Battle Royal. I'm just a sucker for a Battle Royal, Royal Rumble, whatever. And I like seeing multiple people in there. So I'm a sucker for ladder matches, and I'm a sucker for Battle Royals. So I'm cool with it, especially if it's someone we're not expecting and gets included into the match. So that's why I'm gargling, because half of his decisions I like, the other half I didn't like. And I feel like you're with me because you don't like the Battle Royal and you don't like JD, but you like Ilya and you like Dragon Lee. So we're
Correct.
both 50-50, but for different reasons.
I mean, I'm 2/5 because there's nobody in NXT that's going to be in that Battle Royal. I'm saying it's not 50-50. There are 5 participants in that match. So far, 2 of them I don't give a shit about, and there is nobody that's going to be in that Battle Royal, especially the person that they've kind of been pushing, which is Axiom, who, if they win it, I'm going to give a shit or want to see them in that match. So 3/5 of that match I could give 2 shits about. Literally, best case scenario for me, Wesley pops on a drug test, has to relinquish his title before Stand and Deliver.
Okay.
Something non-lethal or extremely painful keeps JD McDundun because I don't want to wish harm on anyone from competing in the match. And we just say, fuck it, Dragon Lee versus Ilya Dragunov for the North American title.
Dragunov
best case
Dragon Lee.
Yes, Dragunov versus Dragon Lee for the North American
Battle
title.
of the Dragons. Game of Thrones.
House of the Dragons.
House of the Dragons. There you go.
I'm going to swallow the Adam Cole versus Daniel Garcia thing. So while I personally, like I said, thought that Garcia should have gone to the BCC, and I think he's kind of outgrown needing, what up, Clark Street, Jericho and the Jassholes and all of that, and it's kind of holding him down at this point. It's hard to argue that when he's going to have a match with one of the top stars in Adam Cole. The other thing that's holding Garcia back is the fact that every time he cuts a promo, he looks like he's about to fucking cry. And I don't know why he always looks like he's on the verge of tears. Like he looks like his girlfriend broke up with him every time he walks out of that rampway. And he had glasses on so you couldn't see it. But then he took the glasses off and now it's like here. He also like had half his jacket hanging off. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Everyone was all like, oh, he called himself a wrestler, but they're sports entertainers because of the jazz holes, blah, 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 blah. But it's going to be a good match. I'm down.
Listen, I didn't see the interaction. I'm always going to, I'm agreeing with Katie. I'm always swallowing Adam Cole, baby. One of the few things I love about AEW. But as much as I am interested and intrigued with this Garcia versus Cole pairing, I am just dreading that it's just a gateway and a pathway to get us to Jericho Cole, which I don't want to see.
Oh, 100% agree.
That's kind of where I'm at with it. Swallow if it's just this, and then Cole skips any jazz holes interaction. But if this leads to anything with Chris Jericho, I'm spitting it because they cooled down Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks was so hot, and then he started doing stuff with Jericho, and then no one cared.
I will agree with that. So Warren actually dropped a whole episode, right, about the Jericho vortex and whether it's a real thing or not. And I would say that nobody really comes out worse from a feud with Chris Jericho, but there are a lot of people who didn't come out better for it, and they should have. Ricky Starks being one of them. I don't think Ricky Starks is in a better position in AEW now than he was before he came out with that. And you can't look at what Ricky's career is going to be a year from now and say, oh yeah, Jericho really launched. Coming out of that feud, he should be hot, and he's not. There are a lot of people coming out of feuds with Chris Jericho who should be hot, and they're not.
No.
It would not cool down Adam Cole, but Adam Cole would not benefit in any way, shape, or form from a feud with Chris Jericho.
It'd just be even kill. Also, JJ says Garcia looks like the bum, no job, mixed boys she dated back in her 20s. I got nothing.
Do they at least have some good dick, JJ? Like,
yeah,
they at least have something to offer.
I mean, even if they didn't, Matt, you know what they could do.
If they didn't have good dick, you always can find, a helping hand, Vince.
Yeah, and you know where you can go for that, Matt?
Where can we go for that, Vince?
You can go to Adam and Eve, because Adam and Eve is the nation's largest marketer of adult products with millions of satisfied customers in the United States and all over the world. Founded in 1971, Adam and Eve is also one of the oldest names in the rapidly evolving adult industry. For more than 50 years, they have built a reputation as a trusted and reliable adult toy store that takes pleasure and privacy seriously. When you want to shop erotic toys, Adam and Eve has it all. Men and women, straight or gay, and anywhere in between. Adam and Eve has the adult toys you're looking for, including but not limited to vibrators, dildos, anal sex toys, bondage toys, couples toys, lube, sex gifts, and accessories. Unlike other adult stores, Adam and Eve stands behind all their products and offers a no questions asked return policy. So whether you bought a dildo, sex swing, or penis ring, or whatever, you can get a refund within 90 days if you're not 100% satisfied. So go to adamandeve.creationworld.com and use the code erotica to receive 50% off one item plus free shipping on all orders of $49 or more. Once again, that is adamandeve.creationworld.com and use the code erotica to receive 50% off and free shipping. The link is in the description.
So you could spend $100, get it for half of that price plus free shipping.
There you go. Buy the most expensive dildo, vibrator, whatever wand you want. Get it for 50% off, and then you get free shipping.
I agree.
There you go. Work the system. Shock the system.
Shock the system. Shock the system. Shock your lover.
There you go.
I'm going to swallow Tiffany Stratton defeating Indy Hartwell to qualify.
Wait. Time out.
What?
You just went with the Cole and Garcia stuff.
Okay. I'm going to swallow Tiffany Stratton defeating Indy Hartwell to qualify for that women's ladder match for the NXT Women's title, as well as Lyra Valkyria and Ivy are defeating Ivy to qualify for the ladder match as well. Tiffany Stratton, since her return, has really impressed me, and I've said it here before. As much as I loved Indy has been stale and boring as shit, and would have probably added very little to this match. Tiffany has looked great. Her moonsault is fucking fantastic. Indy just isn't doing it for me. And same thing. Lyra Valkyria is on a hot streak. Ivy Nile is not. I would have been okay with either of them, but I feel like being the Valkyrie, being that flying,
she better do some flippy shit.
She'll do some cool shit. I think we're better off for having her in the ladder match than Ivy.
So, Matt, would you say that when it comes to Tiffany Stratton, you've had a Tiffany epiphany, as she so eloquently put it on the show?
Yeah, yes, I would. I had a Tiffany epiphany.
I did too, and I'm glad. I'm glad because I agree with you. I'm swallowing everything Tiffany Stratton. She's starting to look like the star. And prior to the Roxanne Perez situation with the injury, she was the person that I had as my favorite pegged to face off against Roxanne Perez at Stand and Deliver. I'm spitting the fact that Indy isn't qualifying because I still love Indy so much and I want so much for her. I'm gonna put it this way: it's not to the same extent, but I root and love her and want her to succeed almost as much as you love and want to succeed with Shotzi Blackheart.
That's completely different. Shotzi at least is entertaining and has a tank. What does Indy have? Jack shit.
I like her. No, I'm just saying. Me
she is Aaliyah. She is Aaliyah.
I've warmed up to Aaliyah.
Maybe a little more. Maybe I'll give her Tyler Breeze. But Tyler Breeze at least had because Tyler Breeze was down there for fucking ever before he actually got called up. He was one of the longest tenured NXT originals before he finally got called up. That's why I said maybe Tyler Breeze, because she's been down there for fucking ever. However, Tyler actually had a good fucking gimmick and wasn't boring as shit. So
the thing with Indy is that she doesn't have a gimmick, and I feel like if she was in AEW, it would almost be like almost every other wrestler. They're like half the roster. Their gimmick is really good wrestler. Okay, her nickname is Indie Wrestling, which I love. It's a fun punny name there, but you need something more because up until this point you were like the love interest to Dexter Lumis, and you need to expand yourself. So I'm with you. I'm just spitting the fact that they're not doing anything with Indy, and I feel like that's a missed opportunity. And I'm going to keep preaching that until they do something.
I agree with you that you need something more. I need something more, Vince. I need something more to keep me awake when Indy's on TV because she has no character and she's boring. You know what that is? It's Dubby. Dubby is a clean energy drink that is made to give me focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like other energy drinks. They also have no maltodextrin fillers and don't use artificial dyes. Dubby contains vitamins, amino acids, nootropic, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. The product is made in the USA in an FDA-inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP manufacturing guidelines. Dubby has handpicked what they believe to be the 10 most critical ingredients for focus and concentration. Dubby contains important aminos and vitamins that canned energy drinks simply don't have. Dubby uses Neurofactor, a patented all-natural coffee cherry extract, coffee cherry, to help fuel you. This ingredient is what gives Dubby its laser-focused and fast reflex effects, making it especially perfect for gamers if you're looking for something to do during an Indy Hartwell segment. They disclose full ingredient amounts, and the products will never contain fillers or artificial colors or dyes. Dubby is also sugar-free, maltodextrin-free, and keto-friendly. So go to dubby.creationworld.com, use code CREATION to receive 10% off your order today. Again, that is dubby.creationworld.com, and use code CREATION. Keep yourself awake during an Indy Hartwell segment. Vince, I'm going to swallow. No, spit or swallow.
We could just do the show, and I can just like comment on everything you say. This may raise an eyebrow from you in a positive way. I'm gonna swallow the unique setup for the triple threat tag match between Tony D and the Underboss, the Creeds, and the Gallows Boys. It started off with the Gallows Boys just drinking at a pub or whatever. The Creeds showing up, basically wanted a match, play some darts, get a little tipsy. Tony D shows up, wants to talk business. They get drunk, they get fucked up, they play some more darts, maybe some pool, maybe a little spin the bottle. Who knows?
Possibly a gay orgy.
I would like to believe that was the case, and Tony D was probably the dom in the whole situation.
I agree.
And then the whole thing, they all came to a conclusion of like, you know what? Let's just settle this in the ring. Let's just all do this in the triple threat match at Stand and Deliver. So I'm swallowing it. It was a unique way to set up a match without having to do anything out of the ordinary, anything extra. It felt like it made sense. I don't know. I liked it. It was different. It was unique. So I'm swallowing it.
I'm with you. Specifically, it's Tony and Stacks meet with the Creeds and Gallus at a bar to talk, stand, and deliver business. And at the end, Gallus is like, I'll give you guys both a shot.
There you go. The more, the merrier. Polyamorous thing, you know?
I'm sure I have more than you for the week, but Vince, go ahead, spit or swallow since you wanted 2 back-to-back.
I'll make this one short and sweet. I'm gonna
Like
swallow the way Pretty Dudley say stand and deliver. I fucking love it. I fucking pop every time they do it. They started doing it last week when they were announced as the host for Stand and Deliver. And they deliver every single time they hit it. So I don't know why I like it so much, but I just do.
I've seen a lot of love for Pretty Deadly, and I just don't like. They do not do it for me. I don't get it. Like they seem like
you just like their pictures they take with the titles.
That's it. That's really all I like that they do. They seem like a lesser version of Breezango. Like,
okay, fair enough. I'm not here to dispute anything about them in ring or outside. I'm just that one thing about them, the way they're saying stand and deliver, does it for me every single time. You can go.
Might be what they do after they get off the toilet from taking those pictures.
Maybe.
I am going to swallow Fallon confronting Kiana about Sebastian. Kiana's reaction, actually looking guilty, like, oh, fuck, you caught me. And then be like, what the fuck were you doing in my office? Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh, shit, you got me. But then, just before Fallon was going to screw everything up before their big match, she is jumped by Team Firecrotch. Kiana makes a save, and they may have mended fences till after Stand
and Deliver.
And Deliver.
There you go. Now you're getting on the train.
To deal with Team Firecrotch going into Stand
and Deliver. Fucking man, there you go. I love it. No, yeah, I'm swallowing that too. Surprisingly, this whole cheaters angle. I used to love watching Cheaters when I couldn't go to sleep at night, and it'd be one of the only shows that'd be on, so I'd watch Cheaters all the time. So this gives me Cheaters energy, and I'm here for it.
I love it. I really do. Because to me, wrestling is a soap opera, and this is the most soap opera fucking thing going on right now.
I am Mexican, and I grew up with telenovelas. So anything that enhances that in pro wrestling, I'm here for
it. Vince, spit or swallow?
I'm gonna spit Johnny Gargano in NXT. I don't care about Johnny in NXT. I feel like I should care, but I don't. He comes off as a loser, and I reiterated this on Get Show, and I've done it last week, where it's just like this dude had his identity stolen. And how do you challenge a man? You're trying to raise the stakes, and you got a contract that he needs to sign for an unsanctioned match. Isn't the whole point of an unsanctioned match the fact that it's not sanctioned? So you don't need to sign the contract. You just kind of show up. Like, if he really wanted the deadliest match in NXT history, it should have been a parking lot brawl or something like that. Just like it, because that's the most dangerous area in NXT. It's the parking lot.
To be fair, contract signings in wrestling never make sense. However, in this case, it's more of like signing a waiver that you agree that NXT is not responsible for what happens in this match. That is what the contract is. That is signing an unsanctioned match contract. That is the agreement that I agree to participate in this and will not hold NXT liable for anything done to me in this match. That is the idea of the unsanctioned match and the contract signing. But seeing as WWE is like a fight company, and the way it operates and works, doing contract signings in general just really don't make sense, because you don't sign a contract for every match. On Raw, Adam Pearce randomly just tells the referee, we're going to make this match happen. Go down there. And they don't have to sign a contract before it.
It was either on Raw this week or
it was on Raw, yeah.
It was on Raw. It's like, I'm going to make that match official. Send the
Exactly.
referee.
So what do you
Yeah.
need a contract for if you could just make matches official without signing contracts? That's
I don't
my
know.
point.
I feel like
This
it just
one case it
enhanced it
does.
more. I just felt like it enhanced more of the unnecessary
However,
factor of it.
I disagree with you. Big body Javi got bodied, so he's now big bodied Javi, and I loved that.
Big body happy.
Also, you know when we talk about like something being predictable can be okay.
Yes.
When Grayson Waller said, "Give that contract to your best friend Vic Joseph, and you're banned from the arena next week," we all know what's going to happen to Vic Joseph. But I'm still really fucking excited for Grayson Waller beating the shit out of a commentator with Johnny stuck and not being able to do anything about it. And whatever Waller may, as long as Waller delivers, because I do not buy Waller, even after the attack at Johnny Gargano's home,
No.
as someone that is as sick and demented and fucked up as a Randy Orton. If this was JD McDumbass, yeah, you know what? I would be behind it. I'd believe it.
Even the Pete Dunne.
Waller does not give me that vibe.
Yeah, he doesn't. But I'm warming up a little bit to Grayson Waller, but I think it's just his gear. It gives me too much like early Miz vibes with the shorts and the fedora.
Can't jump.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think he just needs to get rid of it. I'm just not feeling the feud. It's doing nothing for me. I don't care if Johnny wins. I don't care if Grayson Waller wins. Like it's literally the match I care the least about. I care more about my next swallow that I'll talk about, but I'll save it.
I'm going to spit Schism versus Chase U for the school.
That was my next swallow.
I figured when you said it that way. That's fucking stupid. The debate was stupid. Tyler Bate being with Chase U is stupid. Tantric Tyler is stupid. This whole thing fucking sucks. And Chase U had a little fun run there. I was getting behind them. I was good with it.
Yeah.
All of this sucks. I feel bad for Ava Rain because she is sucked into Schism's vortex.
I feel more bad for Grizzled Young Veterans because they were a great tag team prior to this. And now they're just like stooges for Joe Gacy. I'm just gonna swallow the fact that it's so ridiculous and so stupid that I like it. That's kind of where I'm at with it. Like, I'm looking forward to that match more than I am to Johnny Gargano versus Grayson Waller, to be honest. But I can see why you wouldn't like it.
There is nothing about that match that appeals to me. There is not a single matchup in that match that I'm like, ooh, that's something I want to see. Actually, that's not true. The only part of that match that appeals to me is the fact that Ava Rain will be wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also in an intergender tag match, so it's not like we're really going to see a whole lot of Ava Rain.
True. Very fair. Yeah. I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
Get the fuck out of here, Katie.
What did Kay say? Boy, he's a masturbate. Masturbate.
Master debater.
He's a master debater.
Vince, spit or swallow?
I'm spitting the more Braun and Mello teaming up. I'm tired of that tired old trope. Like I think I spit it last week, or I'm gonna spit it on Raw, like with the whole Bianca Asuka stuff. I just don't like it when they do that trope, and I know it's a very WWE thing to do. I'm just not a fan of it, and I haven't really been like down with this whole Braun Mello feud. I'm gonna watch the match, but I'm more so because I'm looking forward to the downfall of Braun Breaker and the rise of Carmelo Hayes. But aside from that, man, I just don't care for Braun Breaker. He's slowly morphing into that Charlotte territory where I don't care for him.
I like both guys. I don't like the mutual respect aspect. However, I will say I did enjoy the fact that they really did play into the whole "this is stupid, why are we doing this? Can we coexist?" thing with Trick. And Trick giving a reason for why we were doing this. So that part I did enjoy.
Trick is funny. I like Trick. He's probably the only thing that's saving this whole program for me, to be honest.
I'm going to swallow the Brawling Brutes 40-year-old version, porn parody, movie parody.
Wait, that should be the next watch along. Forget Evil Head. Go watch that. 40-year-old porn, 40-year-old virgin porn parody with the brutes.
Yeah, that whole thing was funny as shit. I enjoyed it.
Is it the best one they've had this year?
For me, it is.
Better than the Seth one?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I didn't like the movie The Joker. Like, I thought Seth did a great job, but the movie was not for me.
okay. So if you had to rank them, I feel like the Brutes 40-year-old virgin was number one. In terms of like kneeling it, I think number two I'd give it to Seth. Then I go Rhea. Then I think I'd go Titanic with Montez and Bianca, and then the last one, obviously, Top Gun with the Miz and Maurice.
See, I'm close, but not really. Miz and Maurice just for Maurice.
Titties.
Number two.
Her things were thing. And
Number two.
Okay.
So it would be Brawling Brutes, Miz and Maurice, and then everything you said.
Okay. Well,
and
your
it's actually
reasoning
hard.
is
Like,
sound.
I enjoy John Cena and Rhea, but the fact that it's not a movie, that it's a TV show, and that also kind of puts it down there for me. So
it grinds your gears.
I really thought they could have done better with that Titanic one. I really did. Like, they could have done something funny, and they didn't. Him dropping his phone was not sufficient enough.
Yeah.
Vince, bitter swallow.
All right, I've been holding this one in for a while now, so I'm just gonna lump two together so we can get through this faster. Swallowing the Dom of WWE, Dominic Mysterio, beating Johnny Gargano on Raw. This man is so high up the WWE Power Rankings totem pole, and Johnny Gargano is so low on it. He just beat what used to be the heart and soul of NXT, the former NXT champion. The guy that for a lot of people was referred to as the heart and soul.
Oh no, that's not why I'm making that face. Like, I always said I prefer Champ over Gargano, and you and RN gave me shit about that. Oh, Gargano, blah, 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 blah. All right. And I'd probably say I was right. Neither here nor there. I kind of do miss Ciampa, by the way. But
I do miss Ciampa.
When you said that Dom is so far up the power rankings after you just went on a tirade about how Johnny Gargano's a fucking loser and has been a loser.
No.
And he's so far down the power rankings. Dom is not far up the power rankings. Johnny's just so low.
Let me rephrase that. And what I was actually trying to like say, Dom is so far ahead of Johnny in the standings that he actually got a clean win, because it was a clean win. It wasn't even when I saw the match announced, I was looking at this and like, why would you book this? They're both leading into like big matches WrestleMania weekend. Neither of them should be taking losses.
Though you did just argue that you didn't give a shit about Johnny versus
I don't.
You can't call it a big match.
No, well, I'm saying big weekends. They both have matches in Mania weekend. So they shouldn't be taking clean losses like that going into their matches. And I thought, well, maybe Grayson Waller is going to show up, distract Johnny, and that's how Dom gets the win. But it was a clean win for Dom. So I'm swallowing that. And I'm doubling down on snowballing the Dom Mysterio swallow train. And swallow the fact that Rey Mysterio finally fucking did it. He fucking popped Dominic Mysterio in the mouth, in the face, right after he was disrespectful to his mom, Angie, and his sister, Aaliyah. Aside from the fact that he messed with Rey Mysterio and cost him his match with LA Knight, they made the match official. Rey finally accepted the challenge at WrestleMania. We're finally going to get it. It was great. I loved it. It was probably the best moment on SmackDown for me was the Rey Mysterio stuff.
All right. Let's talk Rey and Dom. I had nothing about Dom versus Johnny Gargano in my notes. However, I don't know how I feel about them not going the Hall of Fame route and ruining Rey's Hall of Fame induction. I was actually very excited for that. That was something I wanted to see. I understand disrespecting Angie and Aaliyah being the final stop for Rey Mysterio to finally put hands on Dom. I know TC popped real hard from Young Kings Wrestling because he was there in Vegas and that's all he's wanted, and he finally got to see it. So for the fucking Vegas crowd, it was fantastic. I was really excited about the Hall of Fame thing. Now, I want to be clear on something because we have been very off kilter on the whole Ray and Dom thing and where you stand and where I stand. And I've thought a lot about it, Vince. And here's my thing. The way I look at it is you can't ride the fence. You either have to be Team Ray or Team Dom. And if you're Team Dom, you can't sit here and support Rey Mysterio and deny the fact that he's been a terrible father. And if you're Team Ray, you can't sit here and support Dom and want to see good things happen for him because he's a spoiled kid who's harassing and doing terrible things to his family and parents. You have to pick one or the other. And the fact that you are trying to be on both sides and support Rey Mysterio as a good father and all of these things, blah, 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 and you understand it, yet also tout Dom as this awesome, great thing that you love on Raw.
He's a great heel.
That's where my issue with you comes in. You don't get to ride both sides of the fucking fence.
Listen, I want to have it my way.
No.
Listen,
Pick
you
a
make
side.
a fair argument. You make valid points. I say to hell with logic. I'm gonna do what the fuck I want.
It's a side. Are you Team Ray or Team Dom?
I'll say this: in terms of the Mania match, in the match itself, I'm Team Ray. I think he should. I want him to win.
No.
Okay.
Rey Mysterio gets.
I just picked a side, man.
No, I know. I'm disagreeing with you. Not that you should have to agree with me. I'm not saying you're. I'm just saying I disagree that Ray should win because I don't think Ray gains anything from beating his son at WrestleMania. However, Dom defeating Ray at WrestleMania, defeating his father, does a lot more for Dom and his career going forward than Ray. All we wanted to see from Ray. Shut up, Jesus. You're the same way.
Just
fucking fence riders. The only thing that we need from Ray is for him to put his hands on Dom. He doesn't need to win the match. That we didn't want to see Ray decisively defeat his son. We wanted to see Ray whoop that kid's ass.
Here's the thing. I want to see this continue. I know I saw those wrestling girls tweet this like they hope this leads to a retirement match for Ray. And it's like, why would Ray retire? Why should he retire? Like just because he's
saying he was going to retire.
He said he was going to retire when he was 50.
How old is he?
He's 39.
No, he is not.
He is 39.
Rey Mysterio is not 4 years older than me, bro. Dude, I was like 13 when he was wrestling in WCW. You were so full of shit.
He started wrestling when he was 13.
Not in WCW in fucking America.
He was probably like 15. He was like 18.
No.
Oh, no, he's 48. My fault. He's 48.
Yeah, he's 40 fucking 8. Yeah, exactly. I was like, bro, he was born in 74. I was born in 87. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Fence Rider, I highly know her. That man is not 39.
Thank
48.
you. Thank you.
Okay, 48. So he's got 2 more years to go. He said, because he did an interview, right, with Ariel Helwani. He was saying the cutoff point is 50. And then he was saying, if I still feel good, then I'll still do it, you know. But he is more comfortable just like not wrestling now. It's easier for him to like just hang it up because Dom is doing his thing and he kind of like lives vicariously through him in the sense. So I'm gonna keep riding this fence. You know, most people ride the wave. I ride the fence, and I'm riding the fence because
I'm not gonna knock you for not wanting to see one of your favorites retire. I'm not because I was this. Everyone said, "Oh, the Undertaker needs to retire," blah blah blah, and I was one of those people that I was like, I will still get down on one knee and salute the Undertaker if he wheels his ass out at WrestleMania for a fucking match at fucking 70 because I love the Undertaker. So I'm not gonna knock you for that. I will say it would be poetic. It would make sense. I will say that 48-year-old Ray is nowhere near the in-ring performer that 40-year-old Ray was. I feel like he's been on a downtrend, but so was Undertaker. Like I said, I still support him. So I'm not going to knock you for wanting to see Ray stay.
He's still having really good matches compared to like a lot of people in pro wrestling today, including WWE. He's still better than like a good portion of people. But yeah, so
that's an opinion.
I don't think he should retire. I don't think just because he's getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, I don't see it being a retirement match. I don't want this to culminate at WrestleMania. I want WrestleMania to be the crescendo that helps build this into a bigger feud, to more matches.
I don't see this being a bigger feud. I feel like if we do this, then we're going the AEW route where we're just fucking dragging it out, because this has been dragging.
Oh.
We have been waiting and waiting.
I thought you were about to say we're going to the AEW route where we're just fucking. I'm like, where have I been where AEW is just fucking?
We're just fucking dragging it out longer than it needs to. I feel like it's WrestleMania. This needs to be the culmination. WrestleMania is where stories go, or should go to finish or start.
WrestleMania, the WrestleMania match at WrestleMania 21 between Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio was the kickoff.
Was the start.
This
feud has been going on, Vince. This is not the kickoff.
It was a one-sided feud. It's barely just started tonight. Ray barely retaliated.
That is fucking disgusting to hear you say that this feud is just starting tonight.
And it just started.
Because it's been going on for fucking months.
Anyways, we spent way too much on this.
I'm gonna swallow Cody. So, like, I didn't really care for the Cody versus Ludwig. Like, it was a good match. Cody's wrestling workers, he took Ludwig von Beethoven on in a match. However, Solo and Heyman coming out. Heyman, gives Cody a match against Solo on Raw. If he makes it through that, then he gets Roman before Mania. Cody accepts and says, because I don't care if you're undefeated or not on the main roster. Solo, he didn't say on the main roster, but we know that Solo lost matches in NXT, so we're just gonna go with main roster. I said it before and I'll say it again. You're not ready, and Roman's not ready either. Solo lost in NXT.
That was all great. Also too, just to tackle on, we can talk about like the Cody Roman segment too. Like Cody this week has just been a swallow, to be honest. The segment with Roman was great because Roman was calling out how Cody just tends to run away. Like he ran away from the Stardust thing. He went over, built his own little company, couldn't get over there. So he ran away from that. He came back to WWE and his body gave out on him. His body ran away from the moment. And like after he loses at WrestleMania to him, he's going to run away. He's going to have to look himself in the mirror and realize that he's just this loser. And then Cody rebuttals with a great way, basically saying, keep my dad's name out of your mouth. He's not here. He's not going to show up. My brother is out doing something else. So you're only dealing with me. So focus on me. And he pointed out a very fair point that got Roman a little shook. I don't know if he was playing that up or not, but he got Roman shook to the point where he was saying, look, if you lose, you have to face the very real reality that Monday, April 3rd, you could lose. And if you lose, Jay leaves. And if Jay leaves, Jimmy leaves. And if the Usos leave, guess what? Solo leaves. And if Solo leaves, Paul Heyman becomes an advocate again. And then you have no family. And then you lose everything. And then he made Roman run away like a little bitch. He made Roman look like a little bitch at the end because he almost to the level that John Cena made him look like a bitch back in the day when they had their first promo battle. So that was cool.
He just walked off.
He just walked off because he had no rebuttal. It was like the dude from 8 Mile after B Rabbit just toasted him. Falcon, yeah. When Falcon just like said nothing on the mic at the end of 8 Mile. That's kind of what it felt like to me.
Also, Roman said Cody's what Roman used to be, a pro wrestler.
I like that.
Cody also said he did run away, and after he ran away, every locker room makes 100% more money.
I love that rebuttal. That was such a great line.
I'm with you. I love the whole fucking thing, including Cody saying Solo ain't ready, Solo going for an attack, Cody blocking it, and then Roman being like, "What the fuck are you doing? What are you doing?" And like going back and stopping Solo from getting into that fight and pulling him away. And Cody telling Paul Heyman, "I'm not talking to you. Shut the fuck up."
And Clarence's parents have a real good marriage. Also too, love the comparison.
Papa Doc.
Love the comparison that Cody made about like, oh, I thought I was ready too when I was a second generation superstar flanking the champion. Because he's a second generation superstar flanking the champion. Like it's great. I like all the comparisons, and I'm looking forward to the Solo Cody match on Monday.
You're a solo Cody match on Monday.
I want to have a solo Cody match with him on Monday.
I'm spitting Mrs. WrestleMania the musical.
Same. It's stupid.
However, it's your turn, so Vince, spit or swallow.
Oh, I thought me talking Roman was my swallow, but
Well,
okay,
no, you were going off mine, so
okay.
Since I didn't ask you Vince spit or swallow, it doesn't count as spit or swallow.
There you go.
Because I'm in charge.
Okay.
You're not going to usurp me.
Spitting everything Impulsive TV. I don't really care about Logan Paul. Like the brawl was cool, I guess, but then it kind of made Seth look stupid when he does a crossbody from the top rope and Logan Paul moves like 5 seconds before he dives off. It's like, why would you dive off to the security? No, it's not that I'm not playing by the rules. I'm just going back and forth. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't really care about Logan Paul. Like this is probably gonna be my piss break match. It was gonna be Omos versus Brock Lesnar, but I'm more interested in Brock versus Omos now, especially after like you photoshopped the big black dildo in front of Brock Lesnar's face. So
I did. I also am spitting Impulsive TV. Even though Logan Paul made some really good points, I just don't fucking like the guy and I don't care. Seth comes down, fucks up the show, attacks Logan, and again, Logan Paul gets off one lucky punch.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good.
Not a fan.
Yeah.
I'm gonna swallow Chelsea Green, making Adam Pearce's life a living hell.
Why is it so funny? What is it so funny?
I don't know, but I really enjoy it. I really do.
She's so good at being a Karen.
Because like this isn't like Sonya Deville punking out Adam Pearce or Adam Pearce looking like a bitch like he has with all these other wrestlers and shit. This is just like annoying him to all high hell.
Yes.
And completely disrespecting him, and I find it so fucking entertaining.
I think my favorite thing is that every single time she goes up to Adam Pearce, I'm like, who's in charge here? I need to speak to a manager. And Adam Pearce every week's like, it's me, Chelsea. It's me. It's still me. I'm the manager. I'm always in charge. It's the same thing every single week. So that's the thing that's popping me the most. JJ Sonata versus Rainmaker Okada.
You're gonna fuck it up. No. See, you already fucked it up. First off, I'm trying to figure out how they went back in time and got Yukimiro Sonata from feudal Japan to be in this match. Secondly, you spelled that wrong. It's Katsukuchi Uganda for the ICUP Hungry Man Championship. And it in the Book of Genesis. Is Kushida a part of this? Is he time traveling to make this happen?
Probably. It's all connected. It's a very intricate multiverse they got going on.
Isn't Genesis a TNA pay-per-view?
Yes.
So you're having the ICP Hungry Man Championship at
no, it's Sakura. It's the improper way that they call it is Sakura Genesis. So that is in New Japan.
Okay.
But Impact also has a pay-per-view called Genesis or something.
Yukimiro Sonata was like my least favorite character, and like he was the face of Samurai Warriors, but like my least favorite character in that. Not really excited to watch him wrestle.
Okay. Katsukuda Oganda.
Katsukuchi.
So it's like Cats Coochie Oganda.
Uganda. Yes.
Uganda. Like
yes.
Uganda.
Like the country. Yes.
Uganda. That's a country?
It is.
Hanzo.
Vince spit or swallow. Love me some Hanzo Hattori.
I'm gonna swallow the women's tag match. Simply and mostly because of Bianca's feat of strength, picking up Piper Niven. And also Asuka finally attacking Bianca post-match. We finally get some action. It really just felt okay. Like when you go out and you see a very hot girl or man, whoever you're attracted to, regardless of whatever you're into, attractive individual, you're locking eyes with them. You're like licking your lips. You're playing, you're eye fucking each other across the hallway. that kind of feels like how this build has been between Bianca and Asuka. They're just kind of like eye fucking each other, not really doing anything. And Asuka made the first move, So I'm glad there was actual some physicality here. Aside from that, like, yeah, no, like the feud hasn't really been doing much for me, but like the match was good. It was solid.
They've done a terrible job building all of the women's feuds for WrestleMania.
Every single one.
Every single one.
Tony Khan's running it. That's why.
What?
Tony Khan's booking it and running it. That's why.
Anyway, I'm gonna swallow KO and Sammy. Kicking off Raw, they're back in love again. They look at the WrestleMania sign. Out come the Usos. Jimmy said, "We're not giving you a title shot," which is kind of funny because like we did the exact same thing with the "I'm not giving you a title shot" that the Ass Boys did.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole "What are you gonna give me?" Blah blah blah. Unrelated. It's just funny that both happened in the same week. Because in this case, for whatever reason, Jimmy's like, "We're not giving you a title shot," and Jay's like, "No, we'll give you a title shot." And it's like, your brother just said no, and you guys didn't even discuss it or anything. How are you just going to accept a match right after Jimmy just got done saying ain't going to fucking happen?
Yeah. No.
They start brawling when the Usos grab chairs. The refs stop the fight. Roman arrives with Solo, not Han Solo or Hanzo, and Heyman, and they don't look happy, out in the back. Roman sits down with Jay, questions his loyalty. Jay's like, "Listen, I'm all in." Then Paul asks Roman if he's got answers after Jay leaves. Roman said he got everything he needed to hear. Then Roman gives the Usos the rest of the night off, but wants Solo to stay with him. And they seem all very confused.
Yeah.
Then we get to SmackDown with the KO show, and KO is like giving Sammy shit about wanting to come out by himself and get his own pop, which I thought was fucking great. Sammy's like, "So if we can stop talking about behind the scenes shit." KO got them shirts. Fun fact, Sammy loves shirts. If you guys haven't realized this yet, Sammy loves shirts. He loved his Bloodline shirt. Then he loved his Honorary Ooze shirt. Now he loves his WrestleMania shirt from Kevin Owens. Sammy loves shirts.
Yeah.
Usos take him out, hit the 1D. KO chases him off with the chair. Then we go off air.
Also, this has a little bit of significance personally with the whole shirt thing. More so because ever since Kevin Owens has been doing KO Mania, I think it was Owens that was doing an interview. I'm not sure if it was a WWE exclusive one or what it was, right? It might have been like one of those like WWE 24/7s or whatever. And whatever 365s or whatever the fuck they were called, when they're like leading up to WrestleMania and Kevin Owens is talking about like the matches, and Sammy had talked to him and said, it was like, "Oh, KO Mania 3, that's like Andre versus versus Hogan. You're gonna need someone in there in the shirt with you, right? So it's gonna be you and me, right?" And it's like, no, it's actually gonna be me versus me. And Sammy is actually had a goal of his to be included in one of the KO Mania shirts ever since it started becoming a thing. So this is kind of like a nice little like Easter egg for people that actually know that. So yeah.
Jesus said they could have called it KO Zania. Katie also loves shirts. Katie is making us a Core 4 shirt for getting off. Appreciate
Fortune
it.
4? The Core?
Core 4.
Core, like as in Wade Barrett and Justin Gabriel. And
no, like if you've seen Scream 6, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, then you have no idea what the fuck's going on.
I was supposed to watch Scream 6 last weekend, but like stuff kept coming up and whatnot. Tell you more about it like off air, But yeah, no, like it's on the bucket list. We're trying to actually watch it.
I'm actually kind of bummed that when we talked about Dom and Ray, I didn't mention that in my notes. I refer to Ray as Dom's stepdad. And I tweeted out today that Ray is no longer just the stepdad. He's the dad that finally stepped up to whoop his son's ass.
There you go. That's nice. Nice. Good. Finger snaps.
Vince, spit or swallow?
I'm a spit. I'm gonna lump everything together. I'm swallowing the Rhea promo because I like that it was delivered better. She's pretty good on the mic. I like what she's doing verbally. I'm gargling the Bayley Rhea match. It was weird to see like a heel versus heel match and why it was set up. and again, same reason for like the Johnny Gargano and Dominic Mysterio match, but this one even more so. Bayley shouldn't be losing going into WrestleMania, and neither should Rhea Ripley. So I felt like a lose-lose situation. Yes,
Well,
I know
Bayley. Who's Bayley wrestling at WrestleMania?
her and Damage Control are taking on Becky Lynch,
Is that official?
Lita, and Trish Stratus. Yeah, that was made official like a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. Yeah, so it's official. And then I'm spitting the fact that Becky and Team Bestie came out and they were just like watching the ringside. I really don't care for Becky, man. It bums me out that I don't care for Becky. She just kind of annoys me now. And the final spit with the whole like mountain of bodily fluids that I just gargled, spit, and regurgitated. I'm spitting the fact that Lita and Trish have just basically been resorted to Becky's lackeys. What they brought back Trish and Lita just to be like the lackeys for Becky Lynch.
I don't get that feeling at all.
That's how I feel.
I get that because you said it. I don't agree. I don't see it that way in any way, shape, or form. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a huge fan of this. I still think Becky is the best of the 4 horsewomen overall.
Okay, that's a fair point.
Not best in-ring worker, just overall
Best
character.
overall. I understand.
Becky's still the best. So having 2 legends like Lita and Trish in her corner, hopefully only help to elevate Dakota Kai and Io Sky in this match.
If they win.
We'll see where this goes and what happens with it. But yeah, no, like I said, they've done a terrible job building all of the women's matches for all of this shit. And speaking of that, I don't know how many of you got left, but I'm on my last one. I am spitting the fact, and I saved this for last on purpose, that WWE forced me to root for an Italian Neidhart to win a match so that I could see Shotzi Blackheart at WrestleMania.
Oh my God.
Listen, WWE made me pick between Shotzi and Xia Li by having them each team, Shotzi with Natty and Xia with Lacey. And that was unfair as fuck. Because if you had swapped those teams and made it Natty and Lacey and Shotzi and Xia, it would have been so, like, I get it. Everyone's gonna be like, oh, you just put like the Asians together. And I understand that. And I get why that's a problem. You know, you don't want to stereotype. However, that would have made it so much more easy for me to pick a team to root for.
Yeah.
But it's going to be Shotzi over everybody, even Xia Li for me. Natty does come through. You know, we have the whole theory, TC's theory about, you know, time travel in Natalia and the dirt that she has on Vince. So this time it came through for me because Shotzi's going to be on the big stage of WrestleMania. I get Shotzi, so shout out there. Lacey had a Star Spangled Cum shot across her face from Uncle Sam that she was just rocking out there. And then to put a big cap on this giant spit, out comes Shayna and Ronda talking shit. And then saying, oh, we're not going to fight in Vegas. And also, we didn't have to wrestle anyone. We're just going to be on the Match of Mania. And
yeah, that was my main thing that just like pissed me off. They really like white privileged their way into that match, specifically Ronda. Shayna just by association. Yeah, I'm with you. Like the teams made no sense. Like Liv and Raquel makes no sense to me. Shotzi and Natty makes no sense. Like Lacey and Xia, that made the least sense out of all of them. At least I saw in the chat. Right?
Actually, I'd say Lacey and Xia make the most sense because Zaya's A, been a heel for a little while now, and B, their whole gimmick is both like Xia with the martial arts and Lacey with the military like fighting, but they're both kind
I feel
of
like we're just stretching that and grasping at straws at that point, though.
No, Lacey and Xia both feel like characters from like Street Fighter. They actually make the most sense to be together as heels. It's Cammy and Chun-Li.
You know what? I can't even rebuttal that one. I can't even rebuttal that one. Touche. I have a few more things that I can list off, but I think I'll just half off with because the other ones we don't really need to mention. They're not that important. But what is important, Matt, and we should talk about this before we wrap up, is heading over to dog.com because dog.com is your online dog supply shopping and information destination. Everything your dog needs from toys to treats and food is available, including collars and leashes. They even have outdoor gear and water safety gear for your furry friend. So go to dog.creationworld.com and receive up to 64% off your order today. Once again, that is dog.creationworld.com. The link is in the description. So, yeah, maybe, maybe head over there.
What's your last spit or swallow there, Sunshine?
I'm
You got
spitting.
distracted by collars and leashes.
Yeah, and things I may or may not want to do later.
Has Melissa bought a collar for you yet?
No. Should she?
I mean, I honestly, if I was looking at your relationship with Melissa, I'd see you as Trish Stratus and her as Vince McMahon.
Well, I'm going to spit the fact that they once again, 2 years in a row, have relegated the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal on the SmackDown Go Home show to WrestleMania, dubbing it WrestleMania SmackDown. I hate it. It's stupid. I am a big proponent of the Andre Battle Royal. I think that it could be a significant thing to help elevate wrestlers and be an excuse to have people on the card. And it was something that was really fun. And like I said, I'm a sucker for battle royals. I'm a sucker for ladder matches. So it sickens me that it's just relegated to that. And also, too, the big spit here is if you saw the graphic when they announced it, Bobby Lashley was front and center in that battle royal, which is, I'm spitting all around because Bobby doesn't get a match at Mania, like a singles match that he deserves. I'm spitting the fact that whatever's going on with Bray health-wise, that he doesn't get to be on WrestleMania. I'm spitting that we don't get to actually see this Bray Bobby Lashley match.
Have they confirmed that that's not going to happen?
As of right now, it's looking like it's not happening based on the sole fact. I'm going based on the sole fact that they had Bobby Lashley in the front and center graphic for the Battle Royal.
Okay.
And if I'm going based on the graphic alone, unless he's
but that's on SmackDown. That's not on. It wouldn't even be double duty because the Battle Royal's on SmackDown and WrestleMania is WrestleMania.
So unless, like, let's say Lashley wins the Battle Royal, and then after the Battle Royal, like, we get some Uncle Howdy shenanigans, and then
or Bray or Uncle Howdy screws Bobby Lashley out of the Battle Royal.
Hopefully, because here's the thing: I love Bray, and I love Big Bobby Lashley, and I really wanted to see that match, especially after they did the whole Muscle Man dance thing. I was
the one that you wouldn't do.
I can't. I don't know the steps to it. I'll learn it and then I'll do it.
Can you do the Macarena?
I don't think I can.
Can you dance?
Yeah, I can dance cumbia, bachata, merengue.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of like dances that you'll dance at like a Mexican or like Latino theme party.
Okay, so none of the dances I would do because
no.
Yeah, I'm
we
waiting.
We can do the cha-cha slide together.
Okay, I'm down.
When me
to the left.
When me and Melissa get married,
to the right.
We'll all do the cha-cha slide. Everyone in the cafeteria.
There we go.
There you go. Yeah.
I mean, I'm really curious as to where we're going with this because they haven't officially called off Bray versus Bobby, so I don't really know what's going on, what's holding this up, all of that shit. What was your initial spit?
I'm spitting that the Battle Royal once again is on SmackDown.
Yeah, that too. I agree with you. This Battle Royal could be utilized and used better. This is something that should be on WrestleMania. I hate the whole idea of WrestleMania. Like, I get that they're trying to make the WrestleMania or the SmackDown before WrestleMania important, but naming things WrestleMania, we've talked about this. WrestleMania Backlash, WrestleMania SummerSlam, WrestleMania SmackDown, WrestleMania Raw. It's fucking terrible.
Oh, yeah, stupid. Jesus says Bray's still part of the Mania promos, but I swear I heard someone say that tonight he was removed from the promos. So
who knows?
Who knows? To be determined. But what we do know is that if you are watching us live, that you're probably watching us live on Twitch.
Whoa. You know who the fucking host of this show is?
It's a team effort, man.
It's not a team effort. I run the shit. You co-host. And before you start plugging Twitch and shit,
yes,
you should tell me what your favorite show of the week was, fuckface.
Calm down. It's not
no, because you keep trying to take my jobs away, and run the show from the sidelines.
What
You are a
jobs am I-
backstage producer. You try to segue into your own spits or swallows without me asking you what your spits and swallows are.
You used
Now
to
you're trying
love
to
that.
plug this shit at the end of the show without me fucking saying, "Oh yeah, the show's over," before I've even finished.
You didn't
Show's
care
not
when I was
over.
plugging the ads.
I did not care when you were plugging the ads. You are
Okay.
correct.
Okay, we're
But
finding the
I'm not
line.
ready
We're
to end the
finding-
fucking show yet, Vince. You end the show when I say end the show. What was your favorite show this week?
Fuck. Do I have a favorite show this week? I'm gonna give it a Raw.
You know what's really funny about that? I don't have a favorite show this week. I can't pick out of the 4 shows which one I. You know what? I'm gonna go SmackDown because Shotzi got her shot at WrestleMania, but it's really just because of Shotzi. It's that or Dynamite for Sky Blue and Tony Storm. Like, really, really it.
Why don't we just both agree to Dynamite for the
Sky Blue and Tony Storm?
Clash of the Cakes?
Best show of the week, the Clash of the Cakes, Tony Storm, Sky Blue, and all the other stuff that happened on that show, I guess, as a result. AEW Dynamite.
There you go. There you go.
Vince,
Yes.
if people are watching us live right now, where do you think they're watching us?
Oh, they're probably watching us live on twitch.tv/Creation World because they probably are following us there and or turned on the subscription button. And if they haven't already, you can probably do so with a free subscription that you get if you have Twitch, Amazon Prime, means you have Twitch Prime, which means you can give us a free subscription every month.
Where else could they watch us live?
Oh, they're probably watching us on youtube.com/Creation World, where they can hit the bell notification and know when we go live every single Friday night, 11 p.m. Central Standard Time, midnight Eastern. But they're probably also subscribed, giving this episode a like, and commenting down below what their favorite show of the week was.
They could also hit a notification bell to know every time we go live if they're watching us on YouTube.
Exactly. I did say that. Turn on the bell notification. Also,
Anywhere else that they could be watching us live?
Live, they're probably if it is live, then they're probably watching us over on facebook.com/Creation World. Where the fuck is it? There we go. Facebook.com/Creation World. There you go. And if they're already there, you might as well go ahead and check out our groups, facebook.com/group/them dragons for House of Dragons.
And Game of Thrones fans.
Game of Thrones fans. There you go. Whenever that comes back. But for the wrestling fans, we have a Smackin' the Raw group over there, facebook.com/group/Smackin' the Raw. And if
they wanted to just listen to the audio version of this podcast, Vince, where would they go to find links to just the audio versions?
Obviously, that's linktree.com/creation, linktree/creation world. We have all the links available there.
Or linktree.com/smacking it raw.
That too. Or they can go to creationworld.com, as the links to everything, including our merch sites and everything else in between, not limited to our dating profiles that we have on there. So you can find out a little bit more about us. And we can bicker on air just like we do now. But if you are Smackin' the Raw and you are a fan of Smackin' the Raw, you're probably watching us over on pornhub.com/model/creation world.
If you listen to me, unlike my co-host, you'll be watching us over at pornhub.com/creation world. Models/creation world.
Yeah, exactly. Or you can throw $1 our way if you want to support us even more and watch exclusive content over there at patreon.com/creation world, where you can watch fun content like Return to Wrestling with Matt and Travis and Multiverse with Travis and Maura. Great stuff there.
Anything else you want to plug?
You
want to plug me? Go ahead. Where can they find me, Vince?
No, I wasn't talking about your social medias.
Well, again, we've had this discussion. I'd be a top, you'd be a bottom. And if anyone was getting plugged, it was you. You guys can follow me at Mattridder, MATTRIDDER on Twitter only. Unless you're looking for horror content, then you can go follow us at Getting Offed on Twitter only. Vince, where can they find you?
They can follow me on social media. They can follow me on social media at SCSVince on Instagram and Twitter. If you want to follow me for the Straight Talk podcast, you can go to straighttalk_pod. Let us know whenever a brand new episode is out. Audio is available for Wrestling March Madness, where Matt was there, and he did not follow a lot of my commands as well. He was a little rogue there too.
I don't know what you're talking about. I listened to all of your commands.
Sure. But if not, go ahead and check me out on youtube.com/SESVince. Subscribe there. Give me a subscription. Drop more content there. And check out the Get Show podcast. We did a sweat session. It was fun.
For the Sultan of Spitter Swallow, Daddy Delgado, the Pornhub Poppy, not so much my friend right now, Vince. I am your host, the patron saint of podcasting, the Warden Matt Ritter, and this has been the #1 wrestling podcast on Pornhub.
Let it go.